All right, you guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at Chapter 8, Lesson 7, Surface Area of a Pyramid. So before we get started, I want you guys to understand what surface area is. If you had a package, let's say it's an Amazon box, right? And you wanted to wrap that box in paper for a gift. Surface area is going to be all the paper that's around this. So the surface area, you would have to find the area of the front, which is nice and easy. And now there's also a back that you just can't see. It's behind this. So we'd find the surface area of the front and the back. We'd find the surface area of the top, or the area of the top, I should say, and the bottom. We'd find the area of the right side and the left side, right? So there's a top times 2, a front times 2, and a side times 2. So that's going to be surface area by itself. Now in this particular section, we're going to be doing surface area of pyramids. So what we will do is we're going to find the area of the bottom, and that's going to be the base. So we would find the surface area of the base, the area of the base. And then what we would do is we would find the area of the front. We would find the area of this side here. We'd find the area of the back over here, and we'd find the area over here. So really the easiest way to do that then would be to find the area of the base, and then the area of the front. And since there's 4 of those sides, we could just multiply that by 4. Now, we're going to make this a little bit easier. So the formula that tells us how to find the surface area is just going to be, we're going to find the base, which is the bottom section. And then we're going to do the perimeter. So we're going to find how far it is all the way around the bottom. And then we're going to multiply that by the slant height. So we would do the perimeter of the bottom times the slant height. Okay, and then we're going to add that to the base. And that's how we will end up with our final answer. Okay, all right. I apologize if I confused you. Let's go ahead and take a look at problem number 1. Once you see this done, I think you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is really, really easy to do. Okay, let's head on down to number 1. All right, let's go ahead and recall that the surface area, and so let's go ahead and write this down. We'll write the formula down. We'll say that the surface area is just going to be the base plus 1/2 of the perimeter times the slant height. And what we're going to do there is we're going to use an L for the length. Okay, your book is going to have a lowercase l. I don't want to use a lowercase l, you guys, because I don't want it to look like an I or a 1. So let's go ahead and fill in some blanks here. So the surface area is going to be the area of the base. Now you guys can see that the area of the base is just this bottom square, so it's going to be 4 times 4. So the area of the bottom is 4 times 4, so that's going to give me a 16. So then we're going to go ahead and do plus 1/2, and we're going to do the perimeter times the slant height. Now the perimeter means all the way around. So if one side is 4, if it's 4 from here to here, that means it's going to be another 4 to here, so that's going to give me an 8, and this is going to give me a 12, and this is going to be a 16. So all the way around, the perimeter there is going to be a 16. So let's go ahead and put in a 16 right there. And we're supposed to do the perimeter right there times the slant height. So that's going to be 16 times 9. So it's really easy to do. Hopefully you guys don't mind 2 different colors. So then the surface area is just going to be, this A doesn't want to work out, does it? It's just going to be 16 plus, now you can do this two different ways. You can do 16 times 9, so 16 times 9, and you can get yourself 144, and then you take half of 144, and that would give you a 72. So that's one way you could do that, and then you'd have your answer, and your answer would be 88 inches squared, or square inches. But the abbreviation for square inches is just IN, and then you put the little 2 up there. So 88 inches squared. But going back to this, the other way you could do this if you wanted to is you could just do half of 16, and that's 8. And then you could do 8 times 9, and you could get 72. So again, what we have is 16 plus 72, so the answer is 88 inches squared, or square inches. Okay, let's move on down. Number 2 is going to be a little bit trickier, and number 2 is going to be a little bit trickier because you can see that the bottom is going to be a triangle down there. So we're going to do that a little bit differently. Okay, let's take a look at that. All right, find the total surface area of the pyramid with a base of, whoops, let me get my pen working here, you guys, with a base of 111. So it's easy to miss that. Sometimes we just look over here and we start looking at these numbers on the side here, and we forget that they're giving us a big chunk of the problem right here. So let's go ahead and write down the formula. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the surface area is just going to be the base plus 1/2 of the perimeter times the length. So let's do surface area is equal to the base. Now they're telling me that the base is 111. So 111 plus 1/2. And we're going to do the perimeter. Now the perimeter here, you guys can see, this is going to be 16. And this is going to be 16, and this is going to be 16. So that's going to give me a 48. So 1/2 of 48. And then we are supposed to go ahead and do the length of the slant. And then you guys can see that the length of that slant is a 20. So we're going to say times 20. Okay, so let's go ahead and do surface area is equal to 111. And then let's see if we can figure out an easy way for you guys to do this. Several different ways, but let's try to do one way on our head. We can do 48 times 20 and take half of it. You guys know what 48 times 20 is in your head? Probably not. It's 960. If you took half of that, you'd get 480. So you do 111 plus 480. Or you can take half, if you wanted to, you could take half of 48 and do 24, and then you would do 24 times 20. I think the easiest way for you guys to do this problem in your head is to take 1/2 of 20, and 1/2 of 20 would be 10. And then you would do 48 times 10, and that would give you 480. So let's do 111 plus 480. Okay, and again, if you wanted to, you could have just done 48 times 20, and then you just take half of that or divide that by 2. So let's go ahead and do 111 plus 480, and that's going to give me 591. 591. Now it's square meters. So instead of writing square meters, why don't we abbreviate it and say meters squared? Okay, that's supposed to be meters squared. It kind of looks like an AN. Meters squared. Okay, let's go ahead and move on down to number 3. Okay, number 3, kind of tricky here, so see if you guys can follow along. Let's start off with the formula. It's just going to make it easier. So let's go ahead and say the surface area. It's going to be the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the length. Okay, so let's go ahead and say the surface area is going to be the base of the triangle. So you guys, hopefully you recall that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times the height. So what we want to do is this would be the base of it, this 10. Looking at a triangle that was like this. This is what I want you guys to imagine in your head. That this is 10, and this height, the height of the triangle, the height is going to be 8.7. Okay, so to find the area of the base, we're going to do 1/2 base times the height. So let's do 1/2, 10 times 8.7. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can do 1/2 of 10 and you can get a 5, and you can do 5 times 8.7. So when we do that, we're going to get 43.5. So 43.5. And again, that's 10 times 8.7 divided by 2. So then we're going to go ahead and do 1/2 of the perimeter. Now let's go ahead and take care of the perimeter. It's 10 and 10 and 10. So the perimeter is going to be 30. And the length of the slant is right here. So the length of the slant is 12. Okay, so we'll say 30 times 12. So it looks like it's a really hard problem, but once you get started on it, it's not too bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that the surface area is the area of the bottom, and we figured that out, 1/2 base times the height, and that gave me 43.5. Now, I can do this several different ways again. I can do 30 times 12 and take half of it. It's probably the easiest way for you guys to do that. Let's do 30 times 12. We get 360. Take half of that. You get 180. If you did not want to do it that way, again, you can take half of 30, which would be 15, and you could do 15 times 12. That would give you 180 also. If you wanted to take half of 12, that would give you a 6, and you could do 6 times 30. And that would also give you 180. So now let's just go ahead and add 43.5 and 180 together, and we're going to get 223.5 square feet. So let's abbreviate square feet and write feet squared. Okay? All right, that's number 3, you guys. Not bad at all. Let's move on down to number 4, and then we will be done with this section. So Sal is wrapping gift boxes that are square pyramids for party favors. They have a slant height of 3 and base edges 2.5 inches long. How many square inches of cardstock are used to make one gift box? So cardstock, you guys, that's just kind of like, it's like thick paper or really thin cardboard. So I think it's always a good idea to try to visualize your image and then sketch that out. So I'm going to do that first, you guys. So we've got this square pyramid. So let's start off, and the bottom is going to kind of look like this. And you guys can see that this is going to be a 2.5, and this is going to be a 2.5. Every side is going to be a 2.5. And then they're telling us that, let me change the color here, that the slant height is going to be 3. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm not the best at this drawing stuff here, you guys. So let's go ahead and come up there, and let's come there, and let's come there, and let's do that right there. So the slant height of this is 3. So if we're going to go right up this side here, or right up the middle there, that's going to be a 3. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me go ahead and change that. That's going to be a 3. So let's go ahead and write down the area again. So we're doing the surface area. So surface area is equal to the base plus 1/2 the perimeter times the length. Now you guys can see that the base is just going to be 2.5 times 2.5. So the surface area is going to be 2.5 times 2.5, so that gives me 6.25. Plus 1/2. Now the perimeter, this is 2.5 and this is 2.5. And in the back, that's 2.5. And on this side, that's 2.5. So all the way around, it's going to be a 10. So we're going to say 10 times the slant height, and the slant height is 3. So our surface area is just going to be 6.25. Now, several different ways you can do this. 10 times 3 gives me 30. Half of 30 gives me a 15. So we can add those together. And again, if you wanted to, you could do half of 10, and you can do, which is 5, and then you can do 5 times 3, and that gives you 15. So let's add those together, you guys. When we add them together, we're going to get 21.25 square inches. Let's go ahead and abbreviate square inches as inches squared. Okay, that's it, you guys. That's chapter 8-7. Good luck on your homework. If you guys have any questions, make sure you check in with me or any other teacher that might be in the class. Don't forget, you guys can you can find this information on YouTube from somebody else if you'd like to. You guys can also log into your textbook Connect Ed and find examples there. All right, I will see you guys soon.